Right up to the minute now, how are the hands functioning? And really, the legs?
How are the hands functioning? You know, everything is on a kind of sliding scale of doability, I guess. So we could say certain things are easier than they were with prostheses, easier than they were with stumps. Everything is better than zero. Let's just say that. So, yay! Functionally, I'm able to do a lot more than I was able to do before, and so I'm pretty independent with, you know, I can dress myself, except for fine motor control. I don't think I'll probably ever have that, but I can't button my buttons. But, you know,
Can you cook?
disappointingly, you know, Steve doesn't have to wash my scrotum anymore.
Steve, do you miss it?
And yeah, I'm beginning to cook again. You know, a lot of things are coming back, and it's not sort of things don't just come at once. It's a very slow progress, and you know, I've noticed that I've even had new things come up just in the last few days. So I'm able to move my middle finger on my right hand a little more independently than I was able to before. So I mean, this is just a phenomenal continuation of progress.
Robin, what were the special challenges of, what I was imagining to myself is, you're telling the story of a storyteller. Ooh, that might be tricky.
I mean, it was a joy to work with Will. You know, I adore him, and I first adored him and just really respected his dedication to his recovery and also his craft. And so, you know, it was great to be able to share in that throughout the process, and with filmmaking, being able to talk about it. And I think he has a really deep understanding for storytelling, and so a lot of this made sense to him, and it was great to be able to, you know, in planning production, to run ideas by him, and for him to already have in his mind, like, what's going to be cinematic, and it made my job a lot easier. You know, for instance, with all the rehab, the scenes on the Charles River and brownies, I mean, I could talk to Will, and he knew as a filmmaker, like, hey, I think maybe these are some of the things that would be great for you to film. And so that happened along the way. I think that was really helpful and fun for me. And also, too, I think for the film, it gives you a really great appreciation to imagine how much he's lost in having the amputations, to see that he was, you know, we all work so much with our hands and we take them for granted. But to actually see his films, see his work, I think that made it, I don't know, just more apparent. And so I think that was really special also, to be able to include his artistic work in the film.
For the surgical team, what advances do you need to make stories like this more frequent occurrences?
There's a lot of people in this country with limb loss, and because of the issues in the Middle East, we have about 1,600 or more veterans who have limb loss. So it's not a small problem. We're working very hard, as are other centers, at improving immunosuppression so that this becomes an easier process for patients to go through, which is of lower risk. And as Matt already said, we have a very large body of work in trying to make sure that we're appropriately screening patients and transplanting patients who are good patients to receive limbs, and also, of course, having as many potential donors as possible who are willing to donate limbs for this kind of surgery.
I think piggybacking on that, not everybody who has lost an arm or two arms or legs is a good candidate for a transplant. And it's beyond just the anatomy. It's what's their social fabric. Do they have loving people that surround them that can help them through a very trying time? Because as you know, as referenced in the film, when the limbs are attached, it's not like Will woke up and he could use them all of a sudden. There's a very, very long process of recovery, and that takes more than Will's will. It takes a huge number of people around. It takes an enormous amount of emotional reserve, and it takes financial resources. It's complex. So it's beyond just availability of patients and availability of limbs. It's finding the right people.
So early on after the transplants, almost at least daily. There was a little ultrasound wand or something, what would you call that, that got put up to my new hands, and we could hear the pulse going, and it just, sounded like a pulse. And so on. And I can't really tell you how extraordinary that sound was, to know that the arms had life, and that they were doing well. And in a way, a movie is like that too, because you put it together, and it's a whole collaborative effort, and it takes a long time, and you don't know whether it's going to have life, and then you get to show it to an audience, and maybe it does. So your applause and whatnot is really, I think, a testament to the strength of the film, and I hope too that it will be a testament to the strength of the festival, that we're so honored to be opening night at IFFBoston, and there's a great audience here. I hope it will continue throughout the rest of the screens until May 3rd. Thank you. Go see other movies.
Thank you.